This is Handmade, and today we are making this really fun rainbow doormat. I've seen similar ones online, and it was one of those things where I was like, I could totally just make that myself, and I did. It was really easy, so let's get into how to do it. So we're going to start with a plain doormat, and of course I made a pattern on the computer so that we can make sure that our rainbow is perfectly neat and symmetrical. Tape the pattern together and cut it out. Use a permanent marker to trace this shape onto the doormat. You can use straight pins to hold the pattern in place so it doesn't shift around while you're tracing. So once you have that traced, use heavy-duty scissors to cut it out. I'm not going to lie, this step took some muscle, but if I can do it, you can too. Now it's time to bring back the pattern and cut along each of the lines. Then pin 3 of the arcs onto the doormat, and you can use the in-between pieces to make sure that everything is lined up right. Once again, use straight pins every inch or two to make sure that your pattern isn't going anywhere. Now grab your paint and paintbrushes. I know this brush looks a little small for the size of this doormat, but you'll want to use a brush that has short, stiff bristles that can really get into the fibers of the doormat, because we don't just want to paint the top layer, we really want to get in there and work the paint down into the fibers so that we get a nice rich color. The paint that I'm using is acrylic craft paint, and it's ideal if you can get craft paint that is labeled to specifically be used outdoors. So just use your paintbrush to work that paint in there, and you'll notice that I'm not really going over the pattern. We're just using it more as a guide for where to paint than a full-on stencil. So you'll just want to do 2 coats of paint for each color, letting the paint dry between each coat. Once you have your first 3 colors on there, remove the pattern and let it dry completely. Then bring back your other 3 pieces of the pattern and pin those in place the same way. We don't really need to use them as patterns anymore since we can see where to paint, but because these fibers are so deep, when you paint them, the paint tends to splatter a little bit, so we just want to protect the sections that we already painted. So just like before, paint 2 coats of each color, making sure to paint the sides of the doormat as well. And now it's time for the big reveal. So just remove the patterns and you can see that we've painted a rainbow. If there are any spots where the colors don't quite meet all the way, you can touch those edges up with a little bit more paint. And then just let it dry completely before bringing it outside and bringing some color to your doorway. Now, okay, I know what a lot of you are thinking. After all that work, we're just gonna get dirt all over it. Well, I mean, if you live in the wilderness and you have really dirty shoes all the time, this might not be the project for you. But if you live somewhere where your shoes don't really get that dirty, I just think this is so cute and perfect for spring and summer. So I would love to know in a comment right down below what DIY projects you're working on this summer. If you want another doormat idea, a little while back Julia showed us how to make this watermelon doormat, which is also a fabulous idea. It would go so well with your rainbow doormat. So don't forget to like this video if you liked this project. Make sure that you subscribe for new DIY videos every single week, and I'll see you all next time.